everyone, it's Teresa. How are you doing today? We're going to do a little adjusting before we move on to the mouth. When you build faces, you have to have a solid foundation. Our eyes are our solid foundation because they're pretty much perfect. Okay? A little glimpses of difference is no problem because it's handmade. It's not a portrait off of a photograph. It's just in our mind. And you're going to find that with everything. Even Da Vinci, Picasso, and all of them made little whimsical things like this. And obviously, history knows best, right? But there's a checkpoint I want you to learn. Alright, are you ready for the checkpoint? It's really simple. You turn it upside down. This is called a balancing checkpoint. And if you can see the balancing checkpoint, her nose on this side is over just a little too far. The nose over here is off by about 1 centimeter or so. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. Alright? But I want to explain a little bit first, because there's been a little confusion on the nose. Alright? And on the nose, I want you to have something that you can get straight. If you have one of those rulers that has a balance, like, oh goodness gracious, what are they called? I can't think of what they're, a leveling ruler that has a little bobble in there. It'll tell you if you're straight or not. You can use that as well. But I want to show you a little trick here to making a nose. Okay? I'm going to do it on this one here. Most noses, loves, have a loop and a loop, just like that. Okay? And depending upon if you're going to look up their nose, you would put, we're not going to go there. It'll confuse you, but depending upon the nose, if you were looking up the nose, the nostrils would be bigger. But since you're looking into the face, full on, you're just going to have a little loop like that. There are 3 loops to the nose. There's the left nostril, the right nostril, and the snooper. Alright? That's perfect. Now, every bat cave, because that's what these are a bat cave, has to have a foundation. The foundation is just another loop slightly over. So you're going to match the loop slightly over like this. Obviously you're going to do a better job than I did, but you're going to try to match this, okay? Then if you feel your nose, you have, it's kind of crazy, but there's like a little bumpy thing here. This for me is just animated. Alright, if you don't want to put that in there, don't put it in there. Just shade it like this. Okay? I put it in there because I think it's kind of cute and it's kind of fun. All you do right here is just pull up a little. Just give it a little shadow. Let it know that it sits in its place. Okay? So on the nose, this is the bridge. When you see bridges, there's always 2 supports, one on either side of the bridge. Otherwise, you're going to drown or you're going to end up in a mountain. Your foundation for your bridge is your shadow. Okay? You can shadow up and down like this. Bring your stump over, and you can just do circles. Alright? Blend it in. The reason I tell you to go at an angle like this is it's going to make a transition for you. Pretend you're an ant and you see your little ant hill is right here. Okay? On the side of it, before they can go into their little ant home, they have to crawl up into the foundation. But there's all this little sandy bits or dirt bits around it. The same goes for the bridge. You want the viewer to walk up and then land on the bridge. I hope this makes sense, as there was a few struggles with it. As for the measurements, okay, let's do this first before we change your face a little bit. There are many people with different types of noses, so if you don't do what I did, don't worry about it. If I would have put her nose here, she would have been fine, because she's a whimsical creature. Alright, if I would have put her nose here, we'd have had a problem. It's too close. You want to leave at least 1.5 inches. Now, 1.5 inches sounds like a lot. And my finger is right to where the 1.5 inches is. Let me see. I have to check it again. Oh, I lied. Right here. Now, I know what you're thinking. That looks like a lot, don't it? But it's really not. Because, well, frankly put, unless her nose is really tiny and you can do that, it's just easy to remember 1.5 inches. So, what I did is I put this in the center, okay? And then I'm like, oh, okay, so I want to go to her eye, so it's almost to the, it's a 1/4 inch away from the 4 inches, alright? So the 1/4 inch, I just round about because it's at the bottom of her eye, alright? So you want to go from the bottom of her eye, and you want to go down exactly 1.5 inches from right here, okay? So when you're done with the eye, do this again. This is the stationary point, this is the pivotal point. From this right here, you want to go down 1.5 inches. If you want to go down 1.25 inches, you want to go down 1 inch. By all means, please do so. It is your picture. But I'm doing a larger face. We'll get to the smaller faces and things like that where it'll be easier for you to understand once you get the nose down, okay? The nose is just, let's do this again, 2 back caves and a bridge. And then there's a happy rainbow trail over the top, okay? And then there's one underneath. And then you just shade it up to give it a little bit of shading. And it's fine. Hope this explanation is just a tiny bit easier. As I told you, I was nervous when I do these. So your balance checking point is to turn your picture upside down, and you're going to see right here we're off a little bit. How do you fix it, Teresa? Well, here's how we do that. You gently erase one side of the nose. Alright? Just one side. I can feel you go, oh my God, she's messing it up. No. Then you're going to take your ruler. Alright? And we'll go back up here again. And I'm going to go, and I'm just going to mark this. That's where I want the end of her nose to be. So I marked it up, okay? I'm not worried about that. That gives me something to build off of. So I'm going to just lightly come over. And I'm going to do the back cave. And I'm going to sweep under here. Alright? And I'm going to lightly go around like this. Okay? Now I'm going to erase my point now because I think we're on the money now. And I used a dark end of the pencil. I pressed too hard, but you can always make that into something else. Okay? To check her, you would put her upside down again on the balance point. And it's moving in and out, and I apologize. And it looks like the one side is down too far because I'm drawing from the side. So now you really get to adjust it. Okay, so I'm just going to come through here. And like that. Do you see what I did? I know that was hard to do, but in order for me to get it correct, I had to have it face on. Face on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around here lightly. Alright. I know I want her nostril there, so I'm going to go in with a darker tint here. And I'm going to lay that darker tint in right there. We're working on the mouth, but there was a little bit of confusion as to how to do the nose. And if you saw the picture, you knew that her nose was off center a little bit. And that's why it's good to see someone go in and correct the mistake. There's no real mistake in it, as you'll see when I get you there, okay? So I'm going to turn her upside down. Yep, and now she has equal side to her nose and her face. This is the widest part, this is the narrow part, so I'm going to come over just a little more. I think I reversed that in the other video and I didn't mean to. I'm going to come over just a little more. Give her just a little more definition. Right down her nose. Alright? So you're going to see the difference right off the bat. Bat cave. I'm going to just go around. Lightly go around, and then we're going to pull this back up here to make sure that everyone knows that it's a rounded nose. If you don't have a rounded nose, that's fine. If you have no nose at all, that's fine too. But I'm going to shade it to the side. We're going to build that bridge. Alright? Now you're thinking, oh my god, there's a lot of shadows. Yes, but we're not done with the shadows of her face yet. We're just laying in the elements that will be her focus. Okay? Now that her nose is in perfect balance, I'm going to erase this little dip that I put there. Okay? I'm going to check her nose out one more time. Yeah, that feels better. I'm going to come like this. Just narrow it a little bit here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll pull her eyebrow down just a little more. And that will help with the definition. There we go. Do you see how we fixed it? If you turn her upside down again for that balance checkpoint, it's spot on this time. Alright? Whew, that was crazy stressful. Not. I promise we'll get you there. Okay? Now we're going to work with the mouth. Alright? So when you work with the mouth, the upper pointy parts, I call it a triangle, pretty much point at your nostril on the inside. I know this sounds a little crazy, but I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. Alright? Ooh, take a good deep breath, Teresa. Alright, so before we do anything, I go right down the center and add just a little bit of the shadow to the dip that goes in between the lip. Okay? The dead center, as I'm tilting it again, I have to turn it towards me. I'm sorry. You're going to want to go to the center down the bridge. Hope this makes sense. Center of the bridge of her nose. I want to leave a little dip. Alright? Just a little shadow. Remember, I told you I'm not doing the fancy words. If you want to do fancy words, loves, you go ahead. And then I'm going to just lay that back a little. I'm going to come under her nose here a little bit with my medium pencil. Alright. And I'm going to hook that in to that nostril. I'm going to hook it in over to this nostril. You're going to see that she's balancing now. Alright. Yes. Now, two triangles make an upper lip. And there's a little boob in the center, but we'll get there in a second. Not a boob, but a bloob. Okay? The inside to the triangle starts here. Alright? Both of the triangle points meet in the center. Alright? So her nose is here. You went down the center and you put the shading in. Okay? You're going to put a triangle like this. And I put a triangle like this. Or an M if you want to. Then you're going to put a little circle right there. Just a little half circle. We'll show you on this. So now that we have the upside down little arrow, you can check it here. It's a good time to check. Yeah, that looks good to me. Turn her back over. Alright. And you're going to ask, how far down do we want that? That's up to you. There are some people whose mouths fall way below, but if you want the ruler, it is about, I have to get the inch over there. It's about a quarter of an inch, half inch away from her nose. And if you think about it in real life, it's the same thing. It's about a half inch away. You don't have to worry about getting all technical with the measurements. Just have fun with it. That's why she's whimsical. So now we have her lip shape, and you're going to need to extend that triangle, and you're going to need to make it look like a little bird. Alright? Just come up a little, no big worries. Come up a little like this, and then you're going to come down. Now, most of the times the lip ends in the center of the eye. To me, that's just too big. I'm having fun. I don't really want to worry about it. You know, I don't want to worry about making her look normal. I just want to have a mouth on her. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding the little peaks that go down. I'm going to turn her towards me a second, because if I don't, we'll be doing the mouth over again. Okay, now we're getting it. So you're going to do a spread out M. When you turn her over to do the balance check, you'll see that it's spot on. Alright? Again, with eyes and lips, none are the same. So now what you're going to do is you're going to do what I like to call is a smile right there. Just a little smile. Half circle, half moon. Then you're going to build. So I like to leave a little dot here for a pivotal point. Yes, this can come up and down and this can flatten. The mouth really doesn't have a stationary point to it, to be honest with you, except for the skin moves around the face. We're not going to get there, but you'll understand. And you want to draw a line just above the half smile that you put in there. Alright, or the smiley face. This is a smiley face. Alright. Looks a little nuts, but we'll get you there. So let's redo this. Review it. You're going to have a spread out M. You're going to start with one triangle spread out, another triangle spread out, and you're going to make a half circle or a smile. Nothing real big, alright? Then you're going to go just above that, and you're going to lay in a somewhat straight line. And you're going to be there, okay? Now I want to check her out, make sure she's pretty much where I want her. Yeah, we can adjust this here while we're here, is we're going to shade it. And the one thing I want you to remember when you're drawing is you will always change your face. You can plan it, you can do whatever you want, but the minute you paint it, it will become its own, and that is the best way to flow. Alright? Now, for the bottom part of the lip, the lower lip is just a little smaller than the upper lip. Not in fullness, but in length. So what I want you to do is just come across like this. Alright? Now she's going to have a full bottom lip and a pretty good full upper lip because, as I said, she's whimsical. So you're going to just make a mark and stop it about this point here, away from her lip. Alright? And you're going to take and just curve a little and then that. It looks crazy. I'll show you. You're going to curve a little and go into it like that. It looks really bad right now, but trust me, it'll be fine in a minute. Now, what you're going to do, is I know you're going to go, Teresa, where are you erasing? You're supposed to. You're going to round it out just a little bit. You're going to take your darkest pencil and lightly, lovies, lightly, go right over this line. Alright? And I can hear the fear go, oh my God, she's making it difficult. No, I'm not. I promise. So when you shade, that's another direction issue. Now I know what you're saying. It's a line over here. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it. Okay? It's easy done. No worries. You're going to take your pencil on the side, light circles, and you're going to come up. The direction is key for this, as it's going to show that it's round. Alright? I can hear you go, oh my God. You're going to come right off that line. And you're going to do a little pull in right there. Alright? Kind of touch the triangle, if you will, with a tear shape. And if you don't think it's a tear shape, it literally is. Even though it doesn't look like it, it is. And you can come over here and adjust it. It's no big deal. You with me so far, lovies? Alright. So then you're going to come up here and you're going to pull off the top lip. Now the top lip, they used to say, was always lighter or darker, but I see sometimes it's lighter, so it's up to you how you want to shade the upper lip, because it's under the nose. And they also say, well, the bottom lip doesn't have a nose, it has just your upper lip as a shadow casting. So I'm going to show you how to do this without knocking the camera out. Okay, so far we've got a little bit of shading. You're like, oh my god, I don't know if it's going to work out. Here you go. Now when you shade it, you're going to want to just gently go up and down. Just up and down. I always go across the bottom a little bit. And you're going to just lay that focal point in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it across real quick. Yeah, that's looking better. It'll blend out your lines. You don't want your lines so solid that you can't see where she's from and all that good stuff. Alright, so you're going to come up to your upper lip. You're going to go side to side for a minute and we'll pull the up and down right there. The upper lip is going to have a shadow on one side. And this is going to have a shadow here. So if you'll see, I left a little white line there that's involuntary. There's a reason. It's her shadow. Alright? You have a shadow here and you have a shadow right there. I'm going to turn her towards me for a second so I can see how we're doing. And I'll come up here and do a little bit of adjusting. And now I see I don't like that curve. And I don't like that curve. So now you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's got a really full bottom lip. Here's the fun part. You're going to make another line right underneath the other one that you had. Alright? And this is how you're going to build her lip. I come up off the line with my medium pencil now. And I'm going to go right into that dip that we just created with the tear shape. Alright? Then I'm going to go slightly below it. I really hope this is making sense. So now you're like, okay, now let's say she has stitches. Yeah, that's gross. You're going to go side to side with this. Just slightly pull it up into the upper lip. And then pull it down into the bottom lip. Alright? And before you freak out, we're going to use our stump here. Blend a little more. And I'm going to take that same pencil and I'm going to just come up to a diagonal point right here. So on the sides of the diagonals that you had, you're going to pull a line right up. Alright? Sounds confusing and it looks really fun, doesn't it? Whew. We'll get you there. And I'm going to blend that in. I'm going to blend this one in and remind myself that I'm going to go right here again that her upper lip looks pretty good. So you're going to say, but her bottom lip, Teresa, it just doesn't look right. You're going to take that same pencil and you're going to go at an angle right here and you're going to go at an angle right here. Okay? You're going to kind of work at an angle in motion and then kind of straighten it up in the center. So this part here, you'll come at an angle. This part here, you'll come at an angle. Alright? Take your stump here. Make sure that we're still filming because this is a process. Alright? Come up and then pull it straight in. Alrighty? And you're like, but I don't understand it. We lost her lip. You'll go. Let me finish blending this real quick on this side. You'll see here in a second. Alright? I'm creating just a little more bow here. It's a little flat, so I just like to come in and make it sort of like it's a flat heart shape now. And that's going to help you cast fullness. Okay? And what I did is, this was flat, then I went down when I was going through and I just made it a flat heart shape. Alright? Looks kind of crazy, but it works. Now, Kelly Donovan, Kelly Donovan has her own way. You can follow hers if that's what you're used to. Everybody has their own way. I have no worries. Take your stump eraser, okay? And this is where the fun part begins. You're just gonna lightly pluck that up. Alright? Oh, look at that lip come forward. Isn't that beautiful? Can you believe you just about done with a sassy pout? Now, you can see that little smile is right here. Alright? You're going to want to put that line back in. Right there. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't understand. You will. I'm going to take this paper stump, yet again, I'm going to go right across the line, and as you can see, I'm trying to go a little faster than normal, and I'm smearing things because that's what I do when I do this. And I'm going to make sure that this line has the proper curve to it. And then I'm going to make this round by pulling gently in and down. Don't be afraid to let your lines curve here, okay? So there's always going to be a little dip now. So now you're going to take a little dip here and here. And you're going to do that little circle again, alright? Because there's two triangles that make a flat M. There was a happy face that we built the center line off of, and now we made it a teardrop. And we're going to go back to that teardrop shape a little bit. Don't worry about rounding it out. There's no worries about that. Alright? And now, we're just going to move that down like that. I know what you're thinking, Teresa. I don't understand. This is going to round that bottom lip off. See? It's going to make it so that you now have a full mouth like this. Now I'm going to turn her towards me a second and see what else I need to add. Yep. So you're just going to blend that down. Can you see what I'm doing? You're going to blend that down. Alright. Before we finish the top lip, we lost right here. Just lightly add, do you see, a little bit of the shadow. So that dark pencil, you're going to want to take your dark pencil. This is my darkest one I have out. Nope. Take your darkest pencil, lovies, and just go over the top lip. Kind of try to follow your triangle with the curves and hit and miss that lovely little shadow there. Alright? You're going to hit that with your blendy stump. I sure hope this is helping. I hope so. And her top lip is darker. I like that a lot. And what I want to do is I went off the mark here just a little. And I'm going to fix it. Do you see what I mean? I went over here and I took that out a little bit. I'm putting it back in. Kind of nervous today. I want to get this right, and then I thought I had explained the nose, and I was like, oh man, Teresa, you have to help them. Alright, so then you're going to take that eraser again and not touch that top lip, but you're just going to flick down. And you're going to go, what the heck are we doing? Do you see how you're forming that bottom lip into being round by just flicking that kneaded eraser? Because guess what, my lovies? You just created a very full, sensuous mouth on a whimsical face. Any questions, let me know, alright? I will answer them all. And if you're worried about that highlight that's gone missing right here, all you have to do is just take that eraser and lay it in. And then you pull this back down, because I took a little too much away, because like I said, I'm working from the side. And that there, my loves, is a very full, beautiful, sensual mouth to a very beautiful and whimsical creature. You have to let me know who she's going to be, because I cannot fix her if you don't tell me. If I decide to take it on my own recognizance, we're going to make her whimsical, crazy, cool. Alright? We're going to start doing side shadows of her face, her jawline, and her forehead. And what she turns into is anyone's guess. And I want you to see that this is how she's turning out so far. And she's looking pretty darn gorgeous. Alright? It's not as hard as you think, I promise. Thank you for staying with me through this series. We're having a lot of fun. Blessed may you be in your life, and blessed may you be in your journey, and thank you for blessing me with your presence. I truly hope you're having the time of your life learning how to draw whimsical faces, as we're going to start painting them very soon. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe.